believe one of the biggest misunderstandings about intuition is that people are waiting for it to speak in a way that they expect. They're waiting for that clear sentence, that perfect answer, maybe even a huge undeniable moment where they could finally trust themselves. But I have to tell you that your intuition has probably been trying to connect with you your entire life. You just didn't know the language. Intuition doesn't always speak in words. It speaks in symbols, images, feelings, memories, energy, emotion. And the craziest part is I believe it uses your life experiences to communicate with you. This is where psychic development gets really fascinating to me. I get an opportunity to teach that you're not learning something new. It's just guiding you to remember a language you've always known. Hello, you beautiful human. Welcome back to the Psychic Portal Podcast. Wow, today we're talking about something that I absolutely love, and it's talking about the language of intuition. The signs, symbols, feelings, images, emotions, the random things even that pop into your head that you feel make absolutely no sense. And I'm here to share with you, we can bring some clarity around this. And this is actually one of my favorite things to teach in psychic development because I think so many people miss this. And it's something that could change everything for them. I think that most people are waiting for intuition to speak English. They're waiting for this big voice to say, okay, this is exactly what you need to know. Here it is. And I wish it were like that. Oh my gosh, it would make my life easier, my job easier, just my connection to this human experience so much easier. But that's not how intuition typically works. Your intuition speaks through energy. It speaks through your body. It speaks through images, through your memories, through symbols. And the most fascinating part is I believe it communicates your life. It uses your life to communicate experiences, messages, and information to you. And this is something I always teach my students. Spirit, intuition, whatever language feels good for you, is always going to use your own frame of reference. Think about it as your own library, your own experiences, because your mind already has associations that it connects to certain things. So I'll give you an example. If two people intuitively see a dog, that could mean two completely different things. For one person, that dog may represent unconditional love, loyalty, friendship, connection, the bond, all of it. It's just warm. And for someone else who may have had a scary experience with the dog, their system might associate that dog with protection, boundaries, needing to feel safe. Maybe something comes through as a warning. Again, it's the same symbol, but completely different messages. And this is why learning your intuition is not about memorizing a giant dictionary of what every single sign means. A butterfly does not always mean transformation. Snake doesn't always mean rebirth. A number doesn't always mean the exact same thing for every single person. Your intuition has a language with you. And your job is to start learning that conversation. Because here's where people get stuck. They start outsourcing their intuition. I see this all the time. They'll see a number and immediately Google, what does 444 mean? They see an animal and they search up, what's the spiritual meaning of this? And listen, I love learning about symbolism. I think it's so fascinating. And different cultures and traditions have so much wisdom to share with us. But before you ask the outside world, before you Google it, what does this mean? I am challenging you to ask yourself, what does this mean to me? What did I feel when I saw that? What was I thinking about before it appeared? What conversation was I having? What emotion did it bring forward? Because the message is not just a symbol. The message is a relationship you have with it. When people start developing their psychic abilities, one of the first things I have them do is pay attention to what I call impressions. Because most people dismiss that first intuitive hit. They'll say something like, oh, that was random. I'm making it up. Why did I think of that? I don't know why, but this came into my head. And I want you to get curious around this. Why did that come into your head? Because intuition often enters before the logical mind understands. You may receive an image in your mind, a word, a memory, a song, a sensation in your body, a smell even, a feeling, a knowing. And then the human brain jumps in and goes, nope, that's weird, and shuts the whole thing down. So one of the biggest pieces of psychic development is learning to stay open long enough to receive the full message, to be in the full experience. And this is where I always remind people, hey, your logical mind and your intuition, they move differently. The logical mind wants the whole story right away. It's an immediate thing. It wants the beginning, the middle, the end. It wants the evidence, explanation. It wants to understand all the whys around it. But your intuition, it usually comes in as one piece of information at a time, one impression at a time, almost like receiving puzzle pieces. You may receive a color, a random memory, a person's name, a feeling, a symbol, and instead of immediately deciding it means nothing because you don't understand it yet, I'm challenging you to stay with it, to get curious, almost like following that thread. One of my favorite ways to practice this is through a symbol journal. Start writing down the things that keep appearing. Not because you need to obsess over every little thing, but sometimes it helps when you're learning your own language, when you're remembering your own experiences. Maybe every time you see a certain animal, it connects to a certain feeling for you. Or a song comes on during a specific season of your life. And maybe you notice your body gives you that same sensation every time something is aligned. This is you collecting information. This is you building trust. And the biggest thing I want you to remember is your intuition isn't here to try to confuse you. It's not trying to make you chase answers. It's not trying to hide information from you. It's communicating through the language it knows you can understand. So it reflects your life, your memories, your emotions, your experiences, your body responses. So this week, I really want you to practice something. When something catches your attention, instead of immediately asking, what does this mean? Ask, why did I know this? Why did I notice this? Because that's where the doorway opens. That's where the conversation begins between you and your intuition. My wish for you today is that you begin to realize your intuition has been speaking to you your entire life. You're not learning a new language. You're remembering one that you may have forgotten or even dismissed for so long. Thank you so much for joining me inside the Psychic Portal podcast. If this episode connected with you, share it with someone who's beginning to trust their own intuition. And as always, continue to remember who you are. I'll see you inside the portal. Until next time. I just want to sincerely thank you for stepping through the psychic portal with me today. This has been so amazing. And if you'd like to stay connected with me, you have so many options. Visit my website at thepsychicportal.org. On that website, you can book a reading with me, explore spiritual coaching, you can join our sisterhood, attend a retreat, look up any of the upcoming events that you would like to come to, and you'll find the links in my show notes to my website. You can also find me on social media at thepsychicportal4, like the number 4. And I just want to say, if anything resonated with you today, please feel free to leave a review, leave a comment, like, subscribe, share this with a dear friend that needs to hear this message. And as we close, my wish for you is always the same. May you always trust your inner knowing. May you have the courage to follow what is true for you. And remember that your wisdom lives within your heart. Until next time, my angel, keep shining. I love you. Bye.